Washington Commanders have signed safety Will Harris to a 2-year deal. NFL Network first breaking the story. I've confirmed it. Will Harris was drafted by the Detroit Lions. Third round pick in the 2019 NFL draft, played his college ball at Boston College, 6'1", 206. Played for 6 seasons in Detroit. I'm sorry, 5 seasons in Detroit, 1 year last year with New Orleans. Played 13 games, had an interception, 74 tackles. Physical player. If you go back to his combine testing, one thing you find time and time again with players that Washington seems to prioritize athletic testing. If you go back to Will Harris's athletic score coming out of BC in the combine, the scores they come up with are based on scouts, right? His production score based on his time at Boston College was a 61. His athleticism score, however, was an 83. That's pretty significant. Ran a 4.4 40. The 10-yard split on that was a 1.49. 36.5-inch vertical, 10-foot, 3-inch broad jump, 6.91 cone, and 20 reps on the bench press. Physical player, has obviously been in the NFL now, productive, relatively durable. You know, this is this time last year, nobody was excited. Not many were excited about Jeremey Chinn. The word on him in Carolina was that he started really well and then was a box safety, couldn't really help you. So these guys have identified the safety they want in Will Harris. 2-year deal. I don't think the money's prohibitive. Per Garofolo, it's 2-year, $8 million, max value of $10 million. So you're talking
same
about
deal with some guy, right?
a little less.
Leave.
Yeah, but also think about Lance Newmark was in Detroit with Harris, clearly knows him. Versatile player, can move around in the secondary for you. Folks that were worried about the safety, there you have it. They've added one. What do you think, B?
I'm with it. I am with it, Jay. I'm not questioning Adam. I'm just going to see what happens. Trying to keep my mind out. We you and I both said that 2 years ago when they brought him in. And I'm trying to just go along with it and see what happens.
Yeah, you know, what's interesting is one thing I find Chinn's numbers coming out of Southern Illinois from the productivity side were higher. But if you compare Harris and Chinn's athletic scoring stuff, it's really pretty similar. Chinn was a 4.45 guy. Harris was a 4.41. Chinn's 10-yard split was a 1.5. Harris was a 1.49. Now, Chinn had a much higher vertical, but Chinn's also a lot taller. So that's going to kind of impact it. They both bench press 20 pounds.
The vertical don't care how tall you are. The vertical is just how high you go.
I'm just saying he's a better, bigger athlete. He runs a little faster. But Harris has a little more speed. The athleticism score, the spark score, was an 81 for Harris and 88 for Chinn, 83 rather. So 5-point difference on a scale of 100 is really a pretty similar player in that regard. One was a second rounder, one was a third rounder. Will Harris joining the organization. Will Harris was a third-round pick of the Detroit Lions back in 2019. Played his college football at Boston College from down south from Georgia. 6'1", 210, 205, depending on the listing. Pretty physical player, likes to come downhill. Has played all over. He's played free safety, strong safety, corner. It's kind of a slot corner last year in New Orleans. Largely durable in his career, missed a couple games over the course of 6 seasons. Harris is the presumed replacement for Jeremey Chinn. Harris going to cost you less than Chinn. I'll open the phone lines up. You think they've done enough now at safety? Just an hour ago, Barstool Nate was concerned about the safety position.
They addressed it.
I think the safety position is very, very tricky. I think 2 years ago, fans were very much concerned about losing Cam Curl. Why wasn't he extended? That didn't happen. They signed Jeremey Chinn. When Jeremey Chinn was signed, a lot of people were convinced he wasn't the right guy, wasn't the right fit, wasn't the right answer.
Now they don't want him to go.
Now they don't want him to go anywhere. The safety market and the safety payment in the NFL is a funky one to try to figure out. And I think clearly I look at the athletic testing and they're pretty similar for Chinn and for Harris. If you look at the two of them, Harris is a little faster. Chinn's obviously a little bigger, a little jumpier. I think there's a profile for what Washington likes at given positions. And honestly, Peters kind of lifted the curtain a little bit on that when we were in Indy this past year, talking about pass rushers and talking about how much value he puts on the 10-yard split in the 40.
Mm-hmm.
So there's specific stuff they look at. And I think there's got to be a reason. Because as much as I think because we are so deep in the weeds on NFL free agency, that folks get like alarmed or convinced they haven't done enough. The league year hasn't even opened. Technically, free agency doesn't even start till tomorrow. There could still be surprise releases over the next 24 hours.
Could be.
I mean, I don't even know that the Rams have officially released Kupp yet. Right?
Yeah, I know of.
It's early in this process.
Early in the process, but it's the same hysteria every year, dude. This is nothing new. I don't care what happens. The fans will always be up in the tizzy.
Jeffrey, how you feeling about Will Harris?
I'm cool with it. I know he laid CeeDee Lamb out one game, so I know he could. He laid some big hits. I'm not really familiar with his game, how he is in coverage and stuff. I'm gonna go and check on that, but I'm cool with it. I love a safety that could hit, that could thump.
Yeah, he can hit, man. He has not been necessarily like a ball hawk over the course of his career, I wouldn't say. In 6 seasons, he's got 3 interceptions, a couple of forced fumbles, 19 passes defensed. This is not the most exciting, outrageous signing ever, but this is fairly consistent with what they've done last year, this year. Maybe there's a couple of headliners, and then you fill in holes with guys you like. Do you feel better the fact that Lance Newmark, the assistant GM, was in Detroit when this dude was drafted, and clearly there's a relationship there? Familiarity seems to matter a lot with the guys they bring in.
I really don't care about the familiarity. I understand that you may feel you had a certain feeling about a person. You bring them in because I don't care what they do till they get here. When they play well somewhere else, I expect that here. If you come here and you don't play well, then what does that mean? So I want him to be able to play, and you watch. I like the fact that he'll lay lumber on somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how I am about people tackling in the secondary and they don't go to the ground.